What's up, top shaggers? How the flipping heck are we? It's been a minute, hasn't it? Well, I'm down at my local lake. I've actually just come for a bit of a wild swim. Where are we? Over there. Come for a little bit of a wild swim just to cleanse the soul, clear the mind, amongst all the other good health benefits that cold water swimming has to offer. Little bit all over the shop this video probably, because 2 days ago I went wild camping in the woods with a guy called Brett, South African dude, shout out Brett. He's currently my new housemate due to personal circumstances of his own, which leads me on to saying I always talk about the power of this community. Now, I've only met Brett once, and that was at the first Scarborough community camp last year. I've kept in touch with him ever since, and he reached out to me kind of in a bit of a time of need, so I said get yourself to Suffolk and you can stay with me till you get back on your feet. Anyway, without further ado, this is what happened on camp.
I'll show you, because I'm not going into detail because I'll spoil it. So turn the fucking camera off and...
So there you go, that's kind of what happened at camp. Nice chilled vibes. I tried my hand at slacklining as well. Brett brought his slackline down. I could do a couple of steps, but something I really want to get into. I don't know if you guys have ever been slacklining, but when you focus on a point in the distance and you kind of get into this like zen state where you have to just not think about anything else and your body kind of just like finds its rhythm and it's anyway. So we got back from camp and then I decided to jump on the leccy push iron and head out for a little bit of a solo adventure just around the local fields and the woods, just to really have a go on this new bike. Full disclosure, I was sent it by Himiway. Shout out to you. I gave away the first electric bike that I was sent to someone that needed it more than me, someone that needed to get to work basically. So they've got that to commute in. I'm giving this bike away as well. This is a right fun little steed. I think they gave me a discount code as well, so I'll stick it in the Desi, anyone that's interested. Cheers Himiway, legends! Just out across all the fields, all the back tracks, just around my local area. Fully electric, really cool little steed. It's got 5 assist levels I think as well. And then it's got a little throttle to get you going that first couple of mile an hour, so you can actually set the bike in a high gear, assist on the takeoff, and then the full assist takes over. Pretty cool. Well, I'm glad I'm wearing my soft shell jacket because it's just started to rain. So I'm going to go find some tree cover and sit down for 5 minutes. Right, community camp update. We're going back to Scarborough. It's going to be on the 26th to the 28th of May, which is pretty much in a month's time. I know it clashes with the bushcraft show. I'm not going to be there this year. And I know a few of you will be going to the bushcraft show. It's just unfortunate timing. That's when Henry can do. That's when I can do. It's going to be a complete different vibe. This is going to be nothing like the bushcraft show. It is just going to be a community camp for people to come together, share stories, do a bit of networking. If you're not that comfortable camping on your own, then it's a good opportunity to come and test out some of your kit in a more safe environment where we have permission to be there. We're still going to have a fire and all that sort of good stuff. There won't be any stalls, there won't be any workshops or anything like that, so it's purely going to be community spirit. Do as much or as little as you want. The emails are now open for you to apply. It's going to be the first 50 people that email will have a slot, and we're doing it for the mental health charity Mind. So after you've emailed, I'll reply with a link to the Mind page, and we'd like everyone to donate a tenner straight into that link, so all the money will go straight to Mind. This whole thing is a non-profit thing, so it's not an official event, it's just friends meeting up in the woods to have a nice camping experience. Once I see the donation's been made to the Mind thing, you'll have your green light to get all the information to come. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. The last one was a banger. The woods is wicked as well. Henry the host is a really nice guy, and I met some awesome people that I still keep in touch with, like Brett, who's now living with me. So yeah, look forward to seeing you there. Are you a fan of Biltong? South African style Biltong? I've got some peri peri Biltong here. It's by Brown's. 44 grams of protein per 100 grams. Now I love supporting the ex-military companies, like Gibraltar Trading Company that I wear their t-shirt and beanie quite a lot, Contact Coffee Co, Spindrift Tactical, Brown's Biltong, 100% beef, ex-soldier run, got out, decided to start his own company. So yeah, thanks very much mate, get on this stuff. If you like biltong or jerky, it tastes very similar, the cuts are different. This is the difference, because I didn't actually know the difference between jerky and biltong. I don't know if that's like a common thing, but I had no idea. I thought it was all pretty much the same stuff. Banging trail snack. If you're ever out on a multi-day hike, or if you just like to snack during the day, 44 grams of protein per 100 grams, no added rubbish, 100% British beef. Great gear, so cheers dude. When you go wild swimming, it's recommended that you don't just jump straight into the water. You get your body used to the cold, so get into it slowly. Nice and controlled, so yeah, don't do what I do. Oh, it's gonna be cold. How cold is it then? Yeah, pretty darn cold. Now that is refreshing. Shrimp warm, boys, shrimp warm. I was only in there about 5 minutes, but that's enough for me, really. Yeah, the benefits are really good from cold water swimming. It's becoming quite popular now as well, isn't it? You always see on Instagram and across the internet people getting these cold water like tubs in their garden and stuff. You don't have to come to a lake like this, but this is free and it's in nature, so winner. Well, the endorphins released by that wild swim was pretty colossal, to be honest, and it's given me some absolute mad hair going on. But we've come to this lovely spot in the woods. I've brought my brew kit with me, so I'm going to get a little fire going in the twig stove, make myself a quick coffee, and then we'll sit down and have a bit of a open, honest chat. And for those of you that have been asking about the Revolution Race stuff and if I've got a discount code, it's valid for 1 week as of today. You know they're good gear, I've been wearing them for 3 years now. 2 zip pockets at the front, you can let the air in the side with this mesh and zip. Hooks on the trouser to hook under your lace for your boots. 3 pop studs around the back to tighten them up. Fitted, nice thick cordura material here. Stretchy where you want it on the knees and the bum. And the jacket's mint too. Yoo! A little tip that I never even thought about really, I like to get these little bars put in before I even light the fire. If you don't have gloves and it gets hot and you try and fit them, it can be a bit of a pain. Coffee from the steak detective, get up ya. And I forgot my spoon, didn't I? So saw blade it is. Multi-functioning saw. There you go. Baco Laplander, good little bit of kit. Nothing on the silky, but for when you're out like this and you don't want all your gear, it's tiny as well, so pretty cool. It's another thing I love about these little twig stoves, any brand, whatever style, whatever you've got. You can just come out, make a quick brew, you don't have to go through that whole procedure of like prepping wood. You can literally just get a few twigs. I scraped a bit of birch bark and got it lit in with the ferro rod, dead easy. But then you're leaving no trace on the ground at all, you're not having to dig in. I've just got this sopping wet piece of bark which has left no ground sign underneath it. It's beautiful moss round here, so even with a twig stove you're still going to leave like a scorch mark on the ground, so it's always best to put something underneath it, or go to an area where there is no nice lush greenery. However, I knew this was just going to be run up for a quick brew, so I slapped that down. And this is the thing as well, isn't it? Like, getting out in nature and all that, which I always harp on about, which is why I do it, you know, for the old noggin and that. You don't have to have a full camp set up, you don't have to stay overnight. You can come out for the day with minimal kit. I've literally bought like a paperboy style bag with me, with the stove in, my cups, my little saw, a bit of coffee, and my shreddies for the swimming, and that is it. And you still get to do the whole forest bathing, soaking yourself in nature bit. So just a coffee in the woods, sometimes that's all it takes, you know. With my views of society and the world and how we're all supposed to be doing this and doing that, wild camping, I get a buzz from it because it's kind of like my middle finger, like sticking it to the man, do you know what I mean? No, I'm not going to go seek permission. Yes, I am going to take the pee a little bit. It's fun. It's like, you know, being a bit naughty. I enjoy it. I enjoy wild camping because it's wild. And that little added bit of spice of, you know, you shouldn't be there or you shouldn't be doing it. Like, I'm not causing any trouble or harm out in the woods, and most wild campers that are actually into nature and they're actually into the community and what it's all about, they're very much the same, you know, leaving no trace and doing all that and respecting the woods. That is a massive part of it. People like to label everybody that goes camping is, oh, it's just someone else that's going to leave rubbish, trash the woods and cut down all these live trees and that. It's not. So for people that don't understand it, you need to learn to understand it a little bit more. And I'm going to continue sticking it to the man for as long as I can. It gives me a bit of a buzz, and if you don't like that, then tough. Oh, right then. Nice comfy little moss seat. And we're going to burn a little bit of incense. This one's called Karma. If I start chatting absolute rubbish in the next few minutes, I do apologise. I'm going to try and be as open and honest with you, probably more than I ever have been. I saw a clip on Instagram the other day, right, and I'll probably tell it quite badly, but I think you'll get the picture. So there was this couple chatting to a guy, right, about, I don't know if it was about their marriage issues or what, but anyway, the guy said, if I give you $1 million in your bank, would that improve your life? Would that help you along in life a bit? Would that like bring a little bit of happiness to you? And they were like, yeah, 100%, that would really help us out. We could get out of debt, we could do this, we could do that. That would really improve our life. And then the guy goes, all right then, what if I give you 10 million in your bank, but you don't wake up tomorrow? And they both said, obviously not, of course not. So the guy just said, for a certain lump of money, but you can't wake up tomorrow, you wouldn't take it, right? So the metaphor, I guess, behind all this is waking up every day, just waking up, before you've even done anything, just opening your eyes and having life every morning is already the start of a good day. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you can really think about that on a deep level should you choose, but that really kind of resonated with me. We've all got worries, we've all got issues, we're all got things going on in our lives. Everyone does, no matter how big or small. Some people's aren't comparable to other people's, but that's just how it is. All of us wake up each day, until you don't, obviously. But just waking up, like, that puts a certain perspective in my mind anyway, that kind of changes the dynamic of life. Sometimes I think we take things for granted and we don't appreciate what we've actually got just by waking up each day. So that led me on to something else, and that got me thinking about another comment. Like, I always talk about mental health on this channel, which is why I started camping, which is why I make the videos. And someone left a comment once saying, don't talk at us, talk with us. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not qualified in mental health or anything like that. I'm just a guy that is confident enough to talk about it, I guess. And that seems to resonate with people as well, because I see all the comments, I read all the messages, so I understand that people kind of appreciate that about this channel, right? But I never delve too much into my own stuff. Now, the past few months I've kind of realised a few of my old traits coming back. I've started to get a bit snappy with people at work, I've been a bit short-tempered. I've noticed recently, I've had the black dog creeping back in a little bit, and the hypervigilance side of it all has been through the roof, sussing people out, finding the ulterior motives, thinking there's dangers when there isn't. So I've been moved off shift at work recently to the other shift. So I work the opposite 4 days to Ben now. Bellows Ben, who's been in loads of my videos. Ben's always been my greatest support network, obviously along with my family and stuff, but Ben's been the guy that I kind of offload to when I'm feeling down or anything I've got going through my head. I talk it through with Ben because he's just so good with people. He's really good at sort of calming me down, reining me in a bit, and giving me a different aspect on things. I've been scrolling through social media and not coming away from my phone positive. I've just been seeing all this like forced sexualised content, all the government agendas being pushed through Instagram, certain movements, and it's just clouding my head as well, on top of everything else. So one thing I've never done since I left the military is actually pick up the phone and ring the doctor. I've said to you before that I had some one-to-one webcam sessions with a charity called Veterans at Ease. One thing I never said about that, after about 5 or 6 weeks, I sacked it off. I didn't see the program through. I started making excuses of not logging on and doing these webcam sessions, and then eventually I just sacked it off. So with the few sessions that I did, I thought, yep, cured now, I'm feeling a bit better, everything's rosy, it's great. Started doing my camping, and that really did help, and it still does help, which is kind of why I'm here now. It's why I go out every week. But having noticed certain things creep through recently, I know that everything in my mindset, I've just put a big plaster over originating issues, I think. Being in a position that I am with the channel and talking about mental health and encouraging people to get out there, I've pushed my own mental health like further down inside me, and I've not let that come to the surface as much, and not having Ben and Paul and that around has put me in a different headspace now. So finally got the guts to pick up the phone and trying to do something about this. Now I'm not telling you this to be like, oh woe me. I know there's people way worse off in the world than I am. I'm fortunate, I've got a house, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a job, I've got a good relationship. Everything's sweet on the outside, but you can't help what goes on in here. And I always promote nature, camping, forest bathing to people, because you don't need mental health issues. They don't have to put a label on it or anything like that. Anytime you're feeling bad, it's great to just come out here and relax, detox a bit and blow off a bit of steam, you know, big exhale like I always say. So yeah, sorry I've not been so active as much, especially on Instagram. I am going to keep posting on Instagram. I am going to keep replying to messages on Instagram, but I'm not going to do that whole doom scrolling anymore where you get into a pit. Like, I want to be more present in my life. That's kind of why I'm talking to you about it today, because having the lack of motivation and just the detective in me, which is part of hypervigilance, you're permanently a detective and it's just exhausting. Like, you make up scenarios in your head that aren't true. You have very like black and white thinking. If you don't agree with someone's opinion, you might get very arsey, and like, it's just, you're not that fun to be around, do you know what I mean? And I know when I'm feeling bad, and I know when I'm in a certain headspace, I know that I can kind of ride it out for a bit. And the modern day world, like, it just brings me down, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of you out there like that. Society and what's expected of us and how you should be and how you should act, and a lot of that is just not for me. So that's another reason I like to come out camping. I kind of get to escape all this modern world, and I get to just be me, be who I am. I don't want any sympathy. I just want to chat to you as if you're my mate, and like, hopefully you can, if you're in a position where you're kind of feeling like that, I'm encouraging you to do something about it now. And that is one of the hardest things you can do. Seeking help with mental health issues is one of the hardest things you can do. People could chew your ear off and talk to you all day, but until you do something about it yourself, you aren't going to get fixed. Surround yourself with good people, do things that make you happy. Here's a cheers with a coffee to positive mental health and just feeling good in the world, man. So I'm going to leave it here. I'll get another video out as soon as I can. I'll be back to work in a couple of days, and then I'll be back out camping again, no doubt. So I'll take the camera with me, make another video. Cheers for putting up with this one. I know it's kind of a bit here, there and everywhere, but that's just how it is sometimes. Have a good one, Shags. Peace and love to you all. You!